Hello, it's Jane here. I'm up at the plot. It's the middle of March and that means it's time for a March tour. Now, I'll be quite honest, I was really hoping that at this time of year I would be able to trip-trap up and down the paths in a spring-like manner, saying how wonderful it was to have the sun out and the flowers sort of beaming at you. But I've got to be honest, I'm pretty sure I've just felt rain. So we better get on with it. I'm going to stop talking now. We'll have a little look around and then I'll take you back into the shed and we'll have a bit of a chat. Okay. Not much has changed in this greenhouse, to be honest. As you can tell by the fact we still haven't straightened up this table, we're going to have to straighten it soon, you know, because basically most of the seedlings are sitting all around the house at home. We can't get on the kitchen table. Closing the curtains at night is treacherous. So pretty soon they're going to be coming up to the greenhouse to be sitting on here, but we can't have this at such an angle. I don't know if it even picks up on there, but it's I don't know, about a 30 degrees angle, because otherwise when you water them, all the ones at the bottom are going to get soaked and the ones at the top are going to feel like there's a drought. So that needs sorting. But otherwise, in this side, let's have a look. I've got a few, I don't even think they're up yet, a few onion seedlings in here. I've got, oh, it's nice and warm in here. Guess what's under these little raggy sheets here? We've got some Dahlias. I'm not going to go into them at the moment because I'm going to be doing a video about them a bit later on, but they'll be starting their journey pretty soon. But what I'm quite excited about, because I've never done these before in this manner, is my red onions. Now, some time ago I said I wasn't going to use toilet rolls again because they always go mouldy, and then look what I've done. I've filled a load with compost and red onions because the lovely George Slade put a picture of his on the Facebook group and they were growing so well. And just have a look at that. Look at the roots coming through there. So I can't get straight because I'm standing on a bag of compost. There we are, I'll do it that way, but it might be a bit more wobbly. So if we look at these, look at those roots, look at those. So basically these red onions here, when it's time to plant them in, they are well on the way. I've done some where I've just popped them in a seed tray full of compost at the back there, and I'm sure their roots are good as well. But I'm so pleased with these, so thank you very much, George. I've done it with the red onions only to give them a head start because they're always that much slightly trickier to grow. So hopefully they'll be good this year. Sweet peas, as ever, doing okay. These are the ones that I sowed on that video, which I'll put a link to wherever the link goes. Yeah, they're hard enough. They're going to be ready to go out. And then, you see, this is what happens when you share an allotment with someone. It's wonderful with most things, but Mike's come up last night and he's put these things in pots and I've got no idea what they are. Oh, look, they're more onions. So we've got more onions growing now. So we did have a terrible year of onions last year. By golly, we're going to have some this year. And these are the flowers that I planted a few days ago. Any sign yet? Let's have a look. The scabious and the calendula. Nothing yet. So I'm going to keep them covered. Okay, but yeah, that's it for this greenhouse, really. Little potting station ready to go. We were given a few lettuce seedlings, so we need to put them, I think I'm going to put them in the next greenhouse. Oh, and let me just show you these. These were very kindly given to us by a plot neighbour who had just split up her iris. So yeah, she gave me a few of the, what do you call them, the rhizomes, put them in a pot, and she also gave me a bag of phlox. So yeah, looking forward to that with its nice sweet scent. And greenhouse number 2, nothing to see really, apart from I've given good old Grape. He's had his annual chop, so he's looking a bit sorry for himself, but it will do him the world of good. We have put some not fish blood and bone, chicken pellets down in here to enrich the soil a bit, but I think I will be topping it up with some compost because that end is going to have something special going on that I can't talk about just yet because it's still very much in the planning stage, but keep posted and I'll let you know. I know I've shared this with some of you already over on the Facebook group, but I asked Mike if he could put together a little tabletop for the old wooden table that we used to have in this area, little circular one, and he came back with some 6-foot pallets. So we now have the ultimate, well, potting table. Again, it's on a bit of a slant, but everything in our plot is. But yeah, it's not finished. I will get used to it, but it doesn't half make everything else seem a bit small. Look, it's nearly as tall as the greenhouse. Okay, and here's the fruit that was all pruned not too long ago. And if I show you what we've got going on here, remember the autumn flowering raspberries? I was just going to show you a strawberry then. Strawberries everywhere. The autumn flowering raspberries that were cut right down, they are coming up again beautifully now. As are, you're going to have to forgive the shaky camera I've just tripped over, the currants. They're coming nicely, getting some nice new growth on those. And the old growth is budding up as well. And the gooseberries, so I'm really, really pleased with these because, yeah, very nervous about pruning to begin with. But I think at last, after years of gardening, I think the pruning penny has just about dropped. Okay, and yeah, these haven't suffered too badly at all. So very pleased with those. I'm just going to swing you over to show you this bit though. This is where, or it was absolutely full of strawberries, and we had the tayberry at this end and the blackberry at the other end. So we took those out. I've cleared most of the strawberries away, and I'm left with all these bulb type things. And to be honest, I can't remember for the life of me putting them in. But I think what's happened is last year or the year before, this has been like an empty spot, and I thought, oh, I'll shove these bulbs in there. And then the dahlias have overgrown them, and I've forgotten they're there, and so they're popping up again. But I'm pretty sure one of them, well, that might be onions. Might that be onions? Could that be a Welsh onion? I'm going to smell the thing. It's not chives, because all my chives are at the top. Right, okay. Oh, they are. They're onions, you know. Okay, I think they might be Welsh onions, and I'm saying that because I did once have a pot of Welsh onions that disappeared. This could well be where they've disappeared to. But I'm going to leave them be for now, because this area here is going to be my Dahlia bed. I'm trying to back up without bumping into the table. The Dahlia bed across here. Oh, birds have gone a bit mad. But if you look, it was full of strawberries, and you're going to get this. If you've had strawberries in a bed for more than a year or so, it's going to be the devil itself's work to get rid of all of them. But I'm going to leave a few of them in anyway. I can pull them up as and when, but they're doing quite well in there. So yeah, this is going to be transformed into a Dahlia bed. And again, I know I'm taking you around, aren't I? Do you remember I transplanted the blackberry and the tayberry? And if you look at those now on this arch, they look completely dead. But if I show you, I mean, they're bound to have suffered a little bit. Look at them, poor things. This is the blackberry. They're bound to have suffered a little bit because they were dragged mercilessly from their home. But if we look, this is actually lovely new growth. Let's get you out the shadow. This is new growth. We have got loads and loads of new growth. So in spite of the leaves giving up the ghost, we've got plenty of new growth on there, and that's going to be okay. As with, I know, Rook, I know. Doesn't believe me. As with the tayberry, look at these now. I've got to be careful with these are really spiky. But yeah, these lovely, lovely, rich red stems. They're gorgeous. Oh, and while I'm here, there's the blueberries. They're not doing very well, you know. Topped up with ericaceous compost, but yeah, I think we're going to give them another year, and if they don't do much this year, they're going to get potted. Okay, so that's the fruit. Garlic's doing well. I'm especially excited about this Canadian garlic here that was passed on by a plot neighbour. And she insists that it's not like elephant garlic, and it's got a completely different taste. So I'm looking forward to that. It's always good to try something new. And there's all the standard garlic at the back there with a few little elephant garlic looking bereft in the corner. But I tell you what, when they grow, if you haven't grown them before, they're an absolute treat. Still no sign of the asparagus. And the weather's warming up enough now really for me to start taking the dead sticks off the top. I think they've had enough protection now. So yeah, I keep looking every time I come, but there's nothing there yet. And this is where the strawberries have been transplanted to. They all look very neat and tidy at the moment. But once they start growing, I'm sure they won't. Oh look, I've left a whole load of the leaves I've taken off there. They'll act as a mulch. That's what I'm telling myself. But yeah, as and when, excuse me, as and when the other ones get too much in the dahlia plot, I'll just come and bung them in here. They won't do any harm. And whereas I was going to only do one strip, I've ended up doing the other one as well, look. There were just so many of them. And you know what? You can only give so many away before people start walking in the other direction. So, yeah. Let's just hope we get some decent strawberries. We have got some lovely strawberry tunnels this year to go over the top. So hopefully that'll give us a chance to pick the fruit before the birds get to them. And again, the rest of the plot, I mean, we've got this one here, and that one at the top there. They are just waiting really. As I said last time, again, just needs topping. And then you can see here we've got layers of cardboard with some council compost over the top. That's been rotting down beautifully. We've done the same at different patches, you can just about see up there. But yeah, we've still got a couple of weeks to work on these. Well, actually more than a couple of weeks, because things aren't actually going to be going out until certainly the end of April, middle of May. So yeah, we've got a few weeks yet. So we'll get those sorted. But all in all, I think we're pretty much on top of things. I just wanted to show you this. Last year, I don't know if you remember, I had a clump of chives that I divided and split around the base of the apple tree as a companion plant to the apple, because it was said to help the apple defend itself from scab. And it worked really, really well. So not only am I pleased that it worked last year, but just look how well these have established themselves this year. I mean, this was one or maybe two clumps that I literally just pulled apart and dunged in. And I'm going to have a proper little fortress there of chives this year. So always worth doing. Don't be frightened of dividing your plants and thinking it's bad for them. They can thrive on it. Nothing to see in the polytunnel apart from my little hanging strawberries and Mrs. Havisham's dress. What do you do with your Enviromesh or anything like that? Do you actually take it home and wash it? Because I tend to just hang it up and let it dry and then reuse it, but it is starting to look a little bit horrible. Let me know what you do with yours. Anyway, yes, this is going to be another special spot for something we've got coming up. It's going to be mainly tomatoes. I'll talk to you about those when we go back to the shed. But yes, there's an arch there. There's just calling for something to grow around it. So I'll tell you about that in a bit as well. But yeah, a bit of a waste really. I want to get used to be able to use this space over the winter. But for now, it's just waiting. Again, the rhubarb was basically chopped up and popped in this little spot behind the polytunnel here. And you know what? Look at this. It's coming really beautifully. I mean, I'll be very gentle with it this year. I won't take too much from it because I want it to recover a little bit, but I'm really pleased with this. But also what you can see behind is we've still got some raspberry canes here that need moving. So when they're moved, this bit behind here, so behind this board here, is going to be flowers and herbs. As I mentioned last time, the other side beyond the faraway tree is also going to be flowers and herbs. And the reason is, as I've said, we can't really get a lot of fruit or veg to grow there because it's very, very shady, and this bit's got quite a few trees in. So yeah, we're just going to put stuff in and see if it survives. And if it survives, it's very, very welcome. So it looks terrible at the moment, this bit, but I think in the summer there's going to be quite a transformation. So there we go, looking down the plot. Nothing going on, but you can tell the time of year by this lovely splash of yellow here. But by this time next month, there's going to be a lot more happening. But for now, I'm blooming freezing. Let's go and sit in the shed. Oh, that's better. I think, in a way, it looks a little bit disappointing because there doesn't seem to be that much difference between this tour in March and what I showed you in February. I mean, there's the fruit, excuse me, there's the fruit and there's a few beds cleared, etc, etc. But the difference is, whereas in February we were just like in this limbo and thinking about things we can do and making the most of planning time, I don't think I'm going to be the only one here who has got no space on the windowsills, no space on the kitchen table, and even some floor space being commandeered by seeds, seedlings, seed packets, pots, compost, odd bits of watering equipment, you know. So even though we can't actually see it at the plot, we have got all sorts of stuff going on at home. Saying that, sorry, I'm just going to reposition my microphone to a more ladylike position. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's better. Yeah, saying that, what have I actually got in? I have got in so far. I haven't gone mad. I haven't got grow lights. I haven't got a heated greenhouse. I don't want to start things too soon. It is still early in the season. We have still got plenty of time. But saying that, I've got my onions in, a few flowers, leeks, and tomatoes. My tomatoes. I don't know what to tell you about these. A couple of weeks ago, I put on the Facebook group that I was very excited because I'd sorted my tomatoes. I think I've got 6 varieties that I was sticking with, and I'd actually got them sown. And they were underway. The sowing season has begun. Hooray! All this, that, and the other. And what happened was, on that thread in the group, people started to put the sort of varieties of tomatoes that they were growing. And to be honest, I was quite blown away because I you know, I'm not a tomato expert. Can't think of the word there. I'm not a tomato expert by any means at all. But I had no idea that there were this many varieties. And, you know, somebody mentioned what they were growing, and I just said, just for the names alone, they sound absolutely fantastic. And lo and behold, yesterday morning, I had a lovely package land on my doorstep, all the way from Canada. And this was Ali, who's a lovely subscriber, both here and in the Facebook group. And she sent me these varieties. And I mean, if I can just tell you, I'm not going to get up and show you them all because of the mic situation. And we know what happens when that falls on the floor. But we've got things like blue cream berries, which by all accounts are absolutely fabulous. We've got pink bumblebee. I mean, fancy going into the greenhouse to collect some pink bumblebees. Wonderful. Pink tie-dye. Sun chocolate. Blueberries. I hope my blueberries come this year. They were rubbish last year. Blue Beauty. We've got some ground cherry, which, thinking on actually, I know that's not tomato, but that can be quite invasive by all accounts, and it can grow as a perennial. So I think I might put that in that spot behind the rhubarb that I showed you earlier. But Brad's Atomic Grape, I mean, I don't know if you can see the colours there, but there's the most vibrant purples and lime greens on there. Somebody said it doesn't taste that good. I don't care. I love the name. But the one that I really like, and this is a learning curve for me, is this one here called Get Stuffed. And it's actually grown as a stuffing tomato. Now, I didn't know there was such a thing. I thought beefsteak tomatoes were your stuffing tomatoes and you just took all the seeds out. But apparently these ones, they're more like a pepper inside, in that all the seeds are gathered around the core and you can just take them out really easily, and it leaves you with a shell to stuff. So you can put things like mozzarella with homegrown basil, pesto, just absolutely gorgeous, and it's stripy. That is so thrilling to me. And you know, this is what I mean about gardening. I thought I knew some of my tomatoes, but that's a new one on me, you know, and it's just, yeah, isn't it great? We can pass all this knowledge on and share that. So I'm absolutely thrilled with these. I don't know where I'm going to put them. That's the only other thing. So you sort of think, yeah, well, I'm going to be really sensible and only grow that much of this variety, that much of that variety. But we will find space, I tell you, if only for Brad's Atomic Grape. Other than that, like I say, I'm not going to be starting my next seeds until, we've got a good few weeks yet. As long as everything's in, really, I think, by middle of April. And then there'll still be things that I'll be wanting to plant direct. So a lot of my beans are going to be planted direct, peas, etc., all undercover but outside, so they're not going to be potted on, etc. So I'm not panicking too much about that. But the one seed I am going to be growing, or rather sowing, are my melon seeds, because we have got coming up next week the Transatlantic Melon Challenge. I'll put a link wherever the links go. Because as you probably know by now, Jim from Lake Effect Gardener and he's over in the States. Of course, I'm over here in England, Middle England, in a little hobbit hole. We've decided that we are both going to grow the same melons and see who can grow the best ones. It's obviously going to be him because he's done it before and I haven't. Well, I tried and I failed, but you know, I'm keen. So yeah, we are going to be sowing our melon seeds next Saturday, or rather the videos will be out. I'm putting one out at the same time as Jim, all about sowing our seeds and starting off our melon journey all the way through to the autumn equinox in September, and then we're going to have we're going to look at each other's melons. You see, you just can't even say anything about melons, can you, without it sounding a little bit carry on. But what we want is for as many of you to join us, either join us on the videos, put your comments below. Get over to the Facebook groups. Jim's got his, I've got mine. We'll be putting loads of stuff up about the challenge on there. Join in. If you're on Instagram, please put pictures up there. We've got a few up already, but we want to have as many people as we can sharing their advice, their top tips, what they're going to be doing. Are you going to be doing something unusual with your melons? Let us know. If you haven't got your seed ready yet, if you haven't got any by next weekend, don't worry about it. You plant it when you want to. You know, you don't. There's no strict guidelines. It's just going to be a bit of fun, a bit of a challenge, and yeah, something for us to aim at and try something new. Again, it's new to me, and yeah, learning curves. Okay, on that, I'm going to go. Hooray, you say. These tool videos are normally a bit longer than the other ones, which I am trying to keep to 15 minutes and less, and I think I'm doing quite well so far. But obviously these tool ones do involve a bit of a chat, and therein lies the beast. So I will go, but not before saying have a look at the links below: Facebook, Instagram, contact details, all the details about the Melon Challenge, all below. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you along as a subscriber. Hit the bell so then you'll get a notification for when a video goes up. And yeah, let's hope for a little bit of sunshine over the next few days and a little bit of springtime weather, and look forward to the season ahead. Okay, take care. Bye for now.